I got you into a Remington party. What's my thanks? It's on the hallway carpet. I got paid in puke. Lick it up, baby. I got paid in puke.
Welcome to Paid in Puke, a podcast where three women with names discuss movies about something other than a man. Paid in Puke is hosted by Annie Malone, Christina Barr, and Jessica Baxter. It's also a spoiler-filled free-for-all. You've been warned.
She's a woman of mystery. A woman of surprises.
What are you doing here?
A woman named Susan.
Come on.
Orion Pictures presents Desperately Seeking Susan.
Susan! Susan! Susan!
My God, we all thought you were dead.
No, just in New Jersey.
Madonna is Susan. The hottest voice in rock is now the freshest face on film. Every man is desperate to have her. One woman is desperate to be her.
Everybody I know is desperate except you.
I'm desperate.
You?
But someone is desperate to kill her.
Killed?
Come on.
Dead?
If he can figure out who she is.
I'm not Susan. I don't believe it. I'm a housewife and I live in Fort Lee, New Jersey.
You never stop, do you?
Starring Rosanna Arquette as Roberta.
You know, Garrett, between you and me, what do you really know about Roberta?
She doesn't even like sex that much. It's impossible.
She'll love it.
And Madonna as Susan.
No more dead bodies, okay?
I'll see what I can do.
Bye-bye, Bruce. It was fun, huh?
Maybe you were the killer. You were with this guy?
I was breathing when I left. Got a quarter? Want to play?
Desperately Seeking Susan. A life so crazy it takes two women to live it.
Welcome to Paid in Puke, Season 8, Episode 3. Today we're discussing Susan Seidelman's 1985 comedy thriller? Sort of, I don't know.
Just movie, you know.
It's just a movie. Desperately Seeking Susan, starring Rosanna Arquette, Laurie Metcalf, and Madonna, and a bevy of character actors in early roles. I am Jessica Baxter.
I'm Annie Malone / Amy Green.
I'm Christina Barr.
And joining us to talk about this movie, you heard her on our Oscars pod, and she's back. It's Denise Rodriguez.
Yay!
Hi!
What made you choose this movie?
I remember really loving this movie when it first came out, but I don't think I've seen it since then. And I think it came up when we did the Oscar podcast. Like, it somehow came up in a reference, and it was like, oh yeah, that movie. Then it just got stuck in my head that I wanted to watch that movie again.
Awesome.
Nice to see how things hold up after that long.
It is, and they don't always, but I feel like this one does.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure, like, it probably came up because I brought it up because I love this movie.
So what's your history with
Oh, my God, I love this movie. I saw it when it came out. So if it was 85, I was 13. I think I remember seeing it a couple times. There was a time when my older brother worked at the local movie theater, so we could just walk in and watch movies for free. Which was great. I remember seeing it then and then like renting it when I was visiting my older sister one time. And like she has this real stuffy older academic husband and he was like, that was a very good film. So, like years and years later I saw it at Central Cinema and I was like, this is so legit. You know, I mean, I always loved it, but I was surprised when I went to see it as a much older adult, how cool it was. Like hipster New York cast, you know, and like Richard Edson, my favorite character actor, like so many, just like how Richard Hell is the dead guy. Like it's just, it's crazy, right? And Ann Magnuson, who's great. So, and then I've watched it like a few times since then. And like I watched it sometime over the summer. I don't remember why. And then to prepare for it, I watched it the other day and took notes. And then Matt and I went to a show, and the show ended way earlier than we thought. We came home and we watched it at like 11 o'clock Friday night. And he had never seen it, and he loved it, you know, yeah. So
It's always so fun when you have a movie that you really love sharing it with somebody who's never seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of like seeing their reaction and then being like, no, you can be part of my little special thing.
Right. Right.
Well, especially if they like it.
Yeah, and especially when you know, like, there's some movies that you love, but you're not going to defend, you know? But this is one I could wholeheartedly show this to someone, and it's, like, fucking great.
I'm sort of curious about movies that you love that you wouldn't defend. I'm curious, like, what those movies are.
I'm sure I feel like I usually have one at the ready, and I can't think. I'll think of it.
Yeah.
I remember you said that about Black Swan.
Uh-huh.
I do not like Black Swan.
I wouldn't say I loved Black
Well,
Swan,
you told me,
but
right.
I really enjoyed it.
Right. I mean, I'll think of one for
Yeah.
myself so you're not on the spot. I just remember you saying that you wouldn't defend it, and I
Yes,
definitely have that.
for sure.
With stuff.
Christina, what about
Pretty
you?
in Pink. I won't defend Pretty in Pink.
yeah,
I love
yeah.
it. I won't defend it.
I didn't even love it.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Yeah, I definitely don't love it, but that's for
Right.
Pretty in Pink, though. Christina, what's your history with Desperately Seeking Susan?
I remember seeing it as a kid. And when Madonna became popular, I just, like, instantly... I just loved Madonna from when I was, like, 7 or
So did you see
6
the movie
or 7.
because Madonna was in it?
Well, yeah, I loved it because it was Madonna.
Yeah.
And I remember watching her, just in her videos and her performances, the way that she carried herself and moved was just, like, so different than anything I'd ever seen on TV. And in this movie, I just love how she's just so cool, you know? And I was just mesmerized. Like,
Yeah.
this is the era of Madonna. Yeah, this part of Madonna's career. She's just so cool. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel like a really interesting thing about this movie is that there's, like, not really a lot of cringy 80s fashion that's supposed to be cool. Like, the cringy fashion is supposed to be cringy, like Rosanna Arquette's outfits at the start of the movie. Like, when she shows up, she parks her car and she steps out of it and she's wearing this, like, housewife situation.
Ugly
And
pants.
the
Yeah.
dress at the cocktail party.
Oh gosh, it's so
That was really
like
bad.
choking
I was
her.
just like,
But then
Yes.
when she starts dressing like Susan, you're like, fuck yeah. And then pretty
Yeah.
much everybody looks cool. Like, even though Jim is supposed to be kind of a ridiculous rocker guy, he still looks kind of, I mean, I'm kind of like, that's kind of
You
cool.
can
Yeah.
see it. Like, he's
Yeah.
believable that
I
they're
know
dating,
people
you
who
know?
dress like that. Yeah.
It's cool.
Right.
One thing about this movie, just thinking about my history with the movie, I saw this in the movie theater. There's movies that come out now, most of them I don't see in a movie theater. Most
Right.
of them I watch streaming. So this
Yeah.
was sort of in that era when you made a special trip to the movie theater and saw it. And I just remember thinking Madonna was so cool. This was kind of like peak new Madonna. Like, she was new, and I don't know, was she in any movies before this?
Yeah, her
so
first
this
role.
was a big deal.
She received critical praise for it, too, which I was surprised. I hadn't seen the movie somehow. I thought that maybe I had, because it did come out when I was little. 1985, I was really into Back to the Future that year. But this was the 5th grossing movie of 1985.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It did really well, and the critics liked it. And they praised both Rosanna Arquette and Madonna's performances. And it made $27 million at the box office against a $5 million budget. So it did pretty well all around.
Go team.
And then somehow I felt like maybe I'd seen it, but when I watched it for the pod, I was like, oh, no, I hadn't. Like, there were so many things that were just completely new to me, and I realized that I had just seen scenes from it a million times on compilation shows or referenced or whatever. Every Madonna scene, I'm like, I've seen that somewhere. There's a lot of the movie that isn't Madonna,
Yeah.
so... I did want to start kind of with meaningful passages, I guess, because it's like there's just so much to love about it.
Yeah.
And so we can do meaningful
love this.
passages, but also talking about just generally
Just
what
what
you
we
like.
like, yeah.
I've already started underlining meaningful passages in her copy of Moby Dick, if you know what I mean.
It's sort of these two worlds in the movie, and like in the 80s there's these archetypes of yuppie-dom and excess, and you see Roberta in New Jersey and she's married to the hot tub king of New Jersey or whatever.
Spa King of New Jersey. Spa King.
Like, I remember seeing her coming home and like she's in this really stark white kitchen and she turns on the Julia Child. I remember watching that as a kid and thinking like, people watch TV while they're cooking or
Well,
whatever.
she had the VCR in there.
Right. And
so
like
she had to record the show, I guess.
She had like all the...
Yeah, she had everything prepared for it. Like,
yeah, it's like she's got all this stuff. I like the way the movie starts out. Like, it's at a salon playing like the...
It's in His Kiss.
It's in His Kiss song, and you see like the women under the hair dryers, all this work that goes into... Like, these women that, like, spend their days, like, working on their appearance and shopping or whatever, and I really like the contrast, like, with Susan, and she's just so fucking cool. She's just finding, like, vintage things and drying her armpit. Like, I don't know why,
I like
but, like,
she has that mesh top on, but it looks like she, like, tore up an Atlantic City t-shirt when she was there and just, like, put it across the mesh of the top or something.
She's just, like, doesn't even have to try it. Like, everything just cool, or you know? I don't know why, but, like, I really
she's just
like
so free. She's, like, 100% herself at all times.
And that was, like, something that, like, as a child, seeing her, like, dry her armpits, like, in the hand dryer, I was just like, that wasn't proper or something, or I don't know. I just really liked seeing her, like, just be whatever, and
because people who would have a problem with that are not cool people. Whoever, there's no good reason to look on that with scorn.
Right?
It's just, who cares?
Right, exactly. It kind of, like, made an impression on me, because I guess the way that I grew up, like, my mom was always just so obsessed with being, like, don't be seen, I don't know, showing your armpits or something.
The outfit in general would be a problem for women of that generation.
Right, exactly. And there's just, like, certain parts where directed by a woman, I guess, like, just these... Like the friend that she crashes with, and she's doing her nails, and you see her walking on her heels with the cotton between her toes, and you recognize, like, oh yeah, it is really hard to walk around. I don't know, it's just like this view that I'd never really seen in a movie before.
Yeah, they're just women being women and hanging out, and
it's
not necessarily like all hanging out in your underwear, like having pillow fights. There's a realness to it, and then it was written by a woman as well. Leora Barish was the screenwriter, and that's why we have two fleshed out female leads who do have romances, but they're very much secondary.
Right, and also like how Susan is sort of like real casually promiscuous, and that's it's just cool, you know, like she and Jimmy have this like nice relationship, but also it's like, I don't know, it's fooling around with some guy in Atlantic City.
Come on, come to Buffalo. I'll find some trouble for you to get into. That'll cheer you up.
I've had enough trouble already.
You were with this guy?
I was breathing when I left.
But I don't like leaving you like this.
I take care of myself.
No. Look, I'll give you a number.
You know, it's like it's just so casual and not a big deal. You know,
I mean, especially to her, but it might be a big deal to Jimmy.
Right.
But I mean, the movie doesn't present it like it's a real problem. I mean, I feel like it's not something he holds against her, other than like he just wants to be with her more. But he's not like, oh, that bitch. Who was this guy? You know, he's like, oh, I'm worried about Susan because she got mixed up in this thing. You know.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, that's just how Susan is.
Right.
It just makes us like her more.
Why don't I get some pizza and I'll meet you at home?
You got a place?
Not exactly, but I'm working on it.
Oh no, I know it's coming now.
Just for tonight, I promise.
Do you promise? Only 7-digit phone
Cross
call?
my heart. You won't regret it. Thanks.
Welcome back.
So here's my hot take. It came across to me very much like Susan is Manic Pixie Dream Girl. But she isn't fixing any men in this movie. So it's what Manic Pixie Dream Girl does when she is her own person doing her own thing, what she wants to do, and not being stuck as a secondary character whose sole role in the movie is to like help the man realize his like personal growth goal.
Hell yeah.
Is she like a super early Manic Pixie Dream Girl?
Yeah.
You know?
But like that character in a movie made by women or something.
Right.
Yes.
Because she is very like, you know, the elusive, the quirky, all of that. Can't pin her down, but the person that experiences their sort of huge personal growth awakening is Roberta. So it's sort of like a little bit flipped from where
Right.
it would be in a male movie.
Something that I liked about it was like that was sort of like in the class structure of it. Roberta is like they're the rich people, but the other ones are like the glamorous people, you know.
Yeah.
Like the broke New York people are like
it's like lame to be a rich
like a
person
yuppie.
in
This
New
is
Jersey.
the days of yuppies, right?
Yeah.
New Jersey.
I know. It's true.
It's not
Why,
cool.
like, when did
Right.
it become cool to be rich?
Right.
Why is it considered cool now? Like, I don't know. Maybe it was.
I feel like maybe like the stakes are higher now because I feel like it's even believable. Like Aiden Quinn's character is broke and lives in a fucking loft in
His
downtown.
apartment
You
is
know,
huge.
it's huge. But
I
like,
don't know how proud- yeah,
right?
I did notice
But I
that.
mean, you could live being broke in a totally different way from now being broke means something so much more dire. You know?
Yeah.
Well, it was the 80s. So, like, of
Right.
course, that neighborhood now, right?
And imagine what that loft would cost now. Yeah.
There was a kind of weird walk-up situation too.
Right, like it wasn't nice.
Like
Like it was huge and in a cool neighborhood, but it wasn't like a nice place. And it was like you had to like basically climb the side of the building. You know?
And his walls were doors, like just a series
Right.
of doors stacked up against each other,
Right.
which was like really cool looking though. You'd probably be able to buy a setup like that now for a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah. You couldn't like be working at a movie theater.
Yeah, and I loved how he was the projectionist, showing like these
The
weird ass
weirdest
movies.
yeah.
And I just that was the other thing that made an impression on me. What are these movies they watch in New York?
Yeah.
God, I want to
It's like an art
go to
house
the movie
theater.
theater.
Yeah.
I just was like, I'm gonna live in New York when I'm an adult.
Aw.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go to the dance club, like the whole nightclub scene.
Yeah.
I love that scene so much.
Yeah, I love that.
And that's also like one of those like funny scenes where I just love. He's trying to find Susan and like talk to her about like where Roberta is, and Madonna's dancing. And she's like, I'm seeing them together.
She split on you, huh?
Yeah, 2 days ago.
She did drugs.
Drugs? Roberta? She's never smoked a joint in her whole life. She's probably the straightest person in Fort Lee.
You want something to drink?
No, thanks. I'm on this health program, you know. No alcohol, no sugar.
You want to dance?
Dance.
You read that stuff in the newspaper about that guy Meeker? Got pushed out of a hotel window in Atlantic City.
No, why?
Roberta's mixed up in it.
Roberta, that's impossible.
Fact. She's trying to frame me for Meeker's murder.
Who's Meeker?
And Gary's like trying to keep up dancing. It's just like one of those like dancing but talking.
Right.
scenes.
I love like the
It's
lady
very-
near them with the drawn on uniform.
Yeah.
She's
He keeps like turning around and then there she is.
I love her.
It's really fucking with him. It's really funny because
Yeah.
like they could just be having this conversation at the bar, but she's like, no,
Yeah.
I want to dance.
She's sort of
You're
like
not gonna
right
hamper
away-
my fun.
Yeah, taking him out of his comfort zone.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't take very long for him to just be like, okay, I'm in this now.
Yeah.
You know, like here we are. And I love how his sister, she's kind of the annoying character in the movie. In my opinion.
Yeah, Laurie
Like,
Metcalf.
I do love how she's just like completely shocked by the turn, you know, like, what the
Right.
heck?
She's
Who is
taking
this
the car keys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved their scenes together. Like, I thought they were so well cast as siblings, you know? Like, they kind of looked alike.
What did the police say?
I said that most of these cases turn up in 24 hours.
Did you tell them about the jacket, her wedding ring, and the saltfish?
I told them. They seem to think she's having an affair.
Oh my God, maybe she is.
That's ridiculous. Roberta is not having an affair. She's much too uptight.
That is a horrible thing to say. I suppose you're proud of the way you're running around with Becky Schumann.
I didn't know you knew about Becky. Anyway, we were not running around. We were having a perfectly respectable affair.
Very believable sibling dynamic.
Yeah.
Totally believable. And she's like the voice of reason sibling. But also, he's obviously not irresponsible.
Right.
You know, he's kind of living a sort of standard life. It's not
Right.
like he's going off the deep end or something, but she's very like, ah.
She's just like everything shocks her.
I love the kitchen scene where Gary's making a sandwich and she's like,
Gary, let me ask you something.
What?
Does Roberta have orgasms? I mean, did she have them with you?
What about him?
You have heard of them, haven't you? I mean, maybe the reason she left you was because you weren't satisfied.
Leslie, not everybody is obsessed with orgasms. Some people just have them.
Did she?
I know what? Did Phil Donahue do a show?
Oh, you are really a pig. You know that. At least I know about feelings.
Feelings. I feel.
You're disgusting, Gary. You're just like Daddy. No wonder Roberta left you.
Would you stop saying that?
And she's like, at least I know about feelings. And Gary's like, I feel.
I love that.
I love that scene so much. And then Stephen Wright just comes out.
Yes, Stephen
So
Wright.
funny.
Oh, let's have some chicken.
The chicken is for tomorrow. Larry,
What did the police say?
I can't believe the two of you are eating in the middle of a crisis like this.
We're nervous. What do you want?
Then take a Valium like a normal person.
She's like, how could you eat at a time like this?
Right. I love that.
They're stress eating.
Right. They're not stressed, really. I mean, Stephen Wright is definitely not stressed, but yeah.
So many meaningful passages from that.
Yeah. I also when he's like, did Phil Donahue do a show or something?
Yes. I think Leslie says, take a Valium like a normal person.
It's right there. It's
Great
so funny.
quote. Also, I love when Susan is maybe in their house for the first time and she says nice wallpaper, and the way she says it is like, this is an insult.
Nice wallpaper.
Yeah.
But she's like, nice wallpaper. I don't know.
It's so withering.
That line really
Right.
stuck for me.
I was
too.
definitely noticing the contrast of wallpaper, like wallpaper as a signifier of different like levels of taste and class. Like there's cool, kind of expensive looking wallpaper in Bruce's apartment, the guy who ends up dying.
Well, that's in a
Or that's
hotel.
a hotel,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
true. And then the like kind of gaudy wallpaper in Roberta's house everywhere. Oh, like some of it is really hard to look at. Like the bathroom is really bad. It's just interesting to have opinions on wallpaper.
Oh, I also love, she says it's got to be a cover. Nobody's life is so boring.
Right. No one's like to be that boring.
Did you ever read this? She kept a diary. It's great stuff. Couldn't sleep. Went into kitchen. Gary came in. Turned on light. Gary left. Finished birthday cake. Pages of it. It's gotta be a cover. Nobody's life could be this boring.
It is really interesting how they're both so shocked that the other one could even exist, right? Like Roberta is so fascinated with Susan because it's just completely tantalizing to her that somebody can live the way Susan lives, and she's like got this whole imagination about what Susan must be like. You know, Susan also can't imagine that anybody lives the way Roberta lives, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, this can't be someone's real life.
Right.
But in the end, it's like they both choose Susan's life.
Yeah.
You don't really want to be doing it the way Roberta's doing it. Although Leslie does seem pretty happy in that world. Maybe not happy.
Yeah.
Happy isn't really the right word, but that's what she's chosen.
When they get Roberta's diary.
Right.
This really funny quote.
Diary. That little snake. What did she say about me?
Who's this Snoop here?
Yeah.
Kind of summed her up, I felt.
Yeah.
Like. She was so like, that little Snoop.
Couple like charming details to me. One, like in the very beginning when Susan's taking the guy's money, taking Bruce's money, but she doesn't take all of it. It's like a kind of charming detail. She just takes like a couple $100 and leaves the rest in his wallet. Which is interesting. And then I really like when she trades her jacket to the guy and she tells him it used to belong to Jimi Hendrix and she swaps it for the boots. And then when Roberta comes to get it,
You gotta have it. $65.
That is the price.
Get it.
I like the jacket.
It used to belong to Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, but I bet he'd love it if I swapped it for the boots.
Deal. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Used to belong to Elvis Presley. Want to try it on?
What are you wearing?
Jacket. He used to belong to Jimi Hendrix.
That's really funny.
I think that's really funny. Right?
I like that whole shop vibe.
Yeah.
I love that
I felt
guy.
like you would love that guy. Yeah.
The way he was dancing whenever he wasn't helping anybody, he was just like rocking out to his own playlist, which I really respect that.
And I love how he's not engaging with Gary at all. When he's like, how do you not remember? He's like, vaguely.
Yeah.
It was black and gold, and it had a sort of a pyramid thing on the back of it, like on a dollar bill.
Vaguely.
Great. Thanks. You've been a terrific help.
Wait a minute. She stopped in here looking for the jacket, too. Maybe you can help each other.
He knows when he should or shouldn't be giving information
Right,
to
he's
people.
just like, I don't care.
I love when Gary's like, you bought a used jacket. What
Are
are
we
we
poor?
poor?
Yeah.
You bought a used jacket? What, are we poor? Well, what's going on here?
That guy, Mark Bloom?
I think it's Bloom.
He like died in the beginning of the pandemic.
Oh, he did?
Coronavirus.
Oh my
But,
god.
like, I guess he was like in a ton of theater in New York, and but I mainly know him as Gary from Gary's
Gary
Oasis.
Glass, of course.
I'm Gary from Gary's Oasis. In our New Jersey showroom, we have hundreds of models of whirlpools and hot tubs at the lowest manufacturer to you prices. So come on out to Gary's Oasis. We're open 7 days a week.
Hey, Gary, come on down.
Abierto 7 días a la semana.
Hola, Gary.
No, muchachas, no. At Gary's Oasis, all your fantasies can come true.
Oh, muchacha.
I love that. One of those details that stuck with me is when they order the drinks at the Magic Club.
Oh my god, I love
where
those drink orders.
Yeah, the drink orders were so perfect. And also having the waitstaff be like, let me guess.
Let me guess. Triple tequila sunrise. Ginger ale. Yeah, the scotch. This must be yours. Rum and tab.
And just completely get everyone's
Like
swords
rum and
up
tab is
on.
really funny.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That cracked me up.
Yeah.
Oh, and just Gary in general at the magic show. Everything about that magic club, I loved it. I loved the ambiance. I loved how bad the jokes were that the MC was telling.
Right.
I loved that.
That's such a crazy
There's
place.
a show for magic.
And
Yeah,
it's like
the magic
kind of the
is-
same every night, pretty much.
Right.
Like, who's going to
The
this?
crowd is so funny, like the ladies with the crazy hair.
I
Or like the first scene where he's just like tossing the rings at her. Like, what is the trick here? We did laugh really, really hard at John Turturro's joke where the guy said he's from Queens.
Hey, is there anyone out here from Queens? You? Well, I'm from normal parents myself.
That was such a specific, like, time and place joke, you know? Like,
Oh, I love that kind of humor. I thought that was really great. And then just in particular, how Gary is in the Magic Club. He's just so out of place in that world.
Yeah.
He wants to just get up right away and pull her off the stage. I love that. Leslie's like, no, sit down.
Roberta?
I don't believe it.
Roberta.
Gary, sit down.
You can't do that. That's ridiculous. What's the point in interrupting the show?
But also, if she remembers who she is, why did she go back to the magic job? I so totally
Right.
one of those things that I didn't understand. She's like,
Because she was enjoying it.
yeah, I
thought.
think she just doesn't want to go home.
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
That was one thing I kept thinking of, like, Stefan when I was watching this
This
movie.
place
Like,
has
this movie
everything. It does.
Amnesia, stolen Egyptian artifacts,
Right.
Gus Spring,
Madonna.
a Port Authority locker key. Like,
That's what I love too. How like
Oh,
Des
yeah.
knows everything in the city immediately. Like, and see, oh, that's a Port Authority locker key. Oh, that's a place up on Broadway. Oh, that's a place on Center.
This is a Port Authority locker key. Gunny's Coffee Shop? I know the place. It's over on Center Street.
It's just because you all know the same places with your friend, you know.
Yeah. Oh, it was believable. I loved it. I genuinely loved that about him. How he was just like
Full of
in the
useful
know.
information.
Yes.
I mean, I definitely loved that he was like a love interest who'd served like what a woman would normally serve in a story like that. There's not a lot to him. He's supportive and sexy. And
a
like
cat
that's
He has a
there's lot of-
cat.
and a
I
cat.
know. It's like they really knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Like
I
putting
really
those
had
shots
a
with
crush
his
on
cat.
him. So I've
Oh
had
my
a crush on
God.
him probably since I saw him in this movie. I love
Yeah.
him. I do not remember the cat, and when I saw that, I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he's a cat person.
I know.
I feel like that's a
he's
rare
so-
example of like the female gaze. You know?
Yeah.
Let's
That is
put him in a
what
hammock
the
with a cat.
And the hammock, like, with
Yeah.
the cat.
Oh my god, I love that scene where he's kind of watching her change, but then the cat busts him. And then he like grabs the cat and shushes the
Right.
cat as if the cat's gonna rat on him. That is so
I love
stinking
that.
cute.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I would go for that.
I kind of thought the Madonna getting out of the pool was kind of like a Fast Times thing.
Yeah, I felt it had a little Fast
like,
Times.
Oh, that's
I thought that was like her absolute hottest look, was like the boxers and the tank top and the lace garters over it. Oh my god.
There were definitely some outfits that she wears where I'm just like, you're just fucking with us now at this point, because it's like you can literally wear anything and look so hot. Like, it's not. Yeah. I don't think just anybody could get away with wearing.
Like she puts his shirt on over it, like to be like, okay, now I'm dressed. You know?
Yeah. That's just like a superpower she has, where she's like, I can literally wear any fucking thing I want.
Yeah, I mean, she's had so many looks and styles over the years, but I feel like that's her absolute best. It's like this movie, she's so fucking hot.
Yeah. Also, like, that is a thing we wore back then. Wearing boxer shorts.
Yes.
Yeah, cool. And we're just going to throw our little boxers. I remember one year getting a gift for my parents, and it was like some couple of things of Rit dye and like a pack of like 6 pairs of white boxers. That was like
to tie-dye boxers.
The rage. Tie-dye your boxers. Probably right around that same time that the movie came out, actually. But yeah, that was a real thing that people wore back then.
And it went on for a while, because like wearing like flannel boxers was...
Oh yeah.
I remember like going to the UPS gym in my flannel boxers. It was like my workout outfit was like a tank top and flannel boxers. I think they might have been UPS branded flannel boxers that I got at the UPS
store.
Wow. Okay, yeah, super flashback, like going to some giant lecture my first year at University of Florida, wearing boxers and no shoes, and coming in late and sitting way in the back, and then being like, oh, F this is boring, I'm out of here. Go sit around in the plaza with the Hare Krishnas. One thing that I thought of, like we've commented, like everything happens so easily, she's so free, she's like so cool. I'm like, yeah, it's easy when you're beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, like if she weren't beautiful, she probably wouldn't be like getting away with as much stuff. And so it definitely, like, that came up for me when I was watching it.
Yeah,
It was like,
there's definitely pretty privilege.
Yes, some pretty privilege there.
But I do kind of like that, not that Rosanna Arquette is not pretty, but that she does come from a kind of more reserved place, and then when she starts acting like Susan, it takes her to different places in life and does open some doors for her.
Right.
True.
And that is just a vibe switch. And her outfits as well, but that just needed to happen.
Yeah, good point.
Just another one of like Madonna just not giving a fuck, being cool, walking down the street, eating cheese balls with lace gloves.
Oh my god. Okay, that's a hot prod for me.
Like, I was just like, whoa.
White lace gloves and you're eating your
dust.
Cheetos. That's just gonna be gross.
I like good going, stranger. That's a great line.
Like that. Good going, stranger. Susan.
I wrote signed a stranger just because I was like, that's such a cool way to close out a letter. Like,
right. I like the nice going stranger, and then when Jim sees it, he's like, what fucking stranger?
Oh, something that I forgot to bring up about the Magic Club. That was the worst ventriloquist I have ever
Oh man.
seen. Did you notice?
The guy that stuffs
Yeah.
the dummy in the suitcase.
Yeah.
I
It
thought
took me
Jeff
a minute
Garlin
to
for a
figure
moment.
out that he was trying to do a ventriloquist act,
So
honestly.
bad, yeah. It was bad.
I was like, oh, he's putting the dummy away for the ventriloquist.
Yeah, I really loved the dynamic. And it was also interesting, the dynamic between Susan and Roberta, and then they don't even really meet each other for most of the movie.
Yeah.
But they have that
It's just
sort of
at the end.
connection. It's kind of neat. You know?
It is really cool.
Yeah. Oh, can we talk about just personals?
Yeah,
The
right?
concept where they go into the office physically to place a personal ad.
Right.
That was
Yeah.
so, wow, that is how it used to happen. And then the one guy's like, looking for daytime playmates. And I'm like, oh, it's like 90% of Tinder ads.
Yeah. That was
Right.
one thing, and I guess we can come back to like saying stuff we like about it if you want to move into hot props.
Shut up. Hot Probs is on.
Oh shit, yeah.
That this movie like could not exist today.
Right.
Obviously, because immediately any social media presence, like you're not going to have a mistaken identity.
Right. And they would
Right.
just be like, oh, what is her location pinging on her cell phone? And now we know exactly where she is.
And like Susan for sure would be like an Insta influencer, so everyone would know what she looked like. And
Oh, yeah.
God.
I mean, it wouldn't exist like as it does, but the heart of it is, because like Roberta is kind of stalking her, really, you know, like it's kind of like Ingrid Goes West, right?
Oh, right.
Like where the gist of it, where it's like someone just sort of happens upon somebody that they don't know at all and finds stuff about them and follows them, wants to be them.
Yeah.
I mean, the logistics of this movie don't work at all modern day, but like the idea, hey, you can sort of stalk someone without stalking, you know, without being like a scary person, you know? It's super easy. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I thought about that too while I was watching it. You know, this could not happen today because of modern technology. But that also is partly, I don't know, it's kind of like what makes the movie.
It makes it really charming.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Charmingness to it. That whole like meeting at the pier, we have to like designate ahead of time when we're gonna meet.
Right, a specific time. Right, right.
Desperately seeking Susan. Keep the faith. Tuesday, 10 a.m. Battery Park. Gangway 1. Love, Jim.
Who's Jim? You need to make it your beeswax to be there.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, wait. That's how it used to be.
It's kind of like a non-problematic Sleepless in Seattle also.
Yeah.
Before Sleepless in Seattle, obviously. But like, Nora Ephron saw this movie and was like, I'm going to make this worse.
I don't really have that many hot probs with it, but, you know, I've seen a lot of amnesia in movies and TV, and it's like, you get hit on your head once, you forget yourself, and then you hit your head again, and it all comes back.
Right. It all comes back. Yeah.
That's how it just knocks
that's
your
movie
brain
amnesia,
back.
right? Yeah, that's literally my only hot prob is like that it's movie amnesia.
Susan? Susan?
What happened?
Are you okay?
My head hurts.
Who was the guy asking you?
That guy?
The guy that just ran out.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't remember.
You don't remember? Are you okay? You want to see a doctor?
I'm okay.
Right.
Well, with the added thing of her purse being cylindrical for some reason and rolling into the
Immediately rolling into the
That was
ocean.
so weird. It's like, of all the ways for the purse to be.
Right. It's like, it looks like a little acorn, kind of.
Yeah, like a...
But I feel like it's like probably something that she thought was cool, you know? She's trying to like dress cool.
Maybe that's like from real life in some way, where someone like had that happen, or I don't know. It was just like that's such a weird detail. And she loses her purse. How does she lose it? It's a cylinder and it rolls into the ocean.
Right, like it could get stolen. Like someone can just grab it, and you know, yeah.
I had like no problems with this.
Right, like even the amnesia's like okay, whatever.
Exactly.
It's a little movie device.
It's just a fun,
Yeah, not very many. Just like, I mean, the Cheetahs thing, like, it's an innocuous hot prop. It's just a hot prop with Susan herself, or I'm just like, girl. But
I also noticed one of the ways I think they tried to portray that Roberta wasn't cool was that she was very klutzy. Like, remember when she kind of forgets herself and tries to leave to follow Susan, and she's got the glasses and the hat, and the guy's like, come back, and then she accidentally like knocks over the whole thing.
Hey, look at me, look how you look, man. Beautiful, right? $10 for the set, all right? $10, give me $10 for it. Check it out. Come on, you gotta buy the smoke. Hey, what are you doing, man? Yo, come back here, right? Give me my glasses, man. What's your glasses? Oh, man, I don't believe it. What are you doing, baby? Outside. What do you mean, hey?
I think that was the second or third time that she had done something like incredibly klutzy.
Oh, right.
It was just interesting in their kind of how they're showing you who this character is, that klutziness was this factor.
Yeah.
It wasn't endearing in my opinion. Like, I was like, this is not endearing. It's too much.
You thought they were doing too much to make her klutzy?
They were doing too much to make her klutzy as a way of saying she's not cool.
Okay.
Honestly, that dress she had on at the cocktail party
like
was
just,
enough.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of the Pretty in Pink dress.
Oh, God, that's
I
the
did
worst.
not like.
That's the worst.
Truly. I mean, that's a crime against humanity.
I know. Every time I'm like, God, what's so matronly and ugly.
When Gary takes Madonna home and they're smoking pot, he's like thinking of the big picture of life, and she's just calling him Gare.
And then you start to think, what's it all about? The big picture, you know what I mean?
Sure I do, Gare.
I mean, There's more to life than making money, right? I mean, I know that. I mean, you know how all time comes from a single point in the universe? You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah, sure I
like
do,
that.
Gare. She has this moment where she's like, lucky for everybody, I'm here and I'm thinking.
Why didn't you tell me she read the personals? You could have settled this yesterday.
She read them all the time. I didn't think...
Yeah, well, fortunately for everybody, I'm here and I'm thinking.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that moment too because it's true. She's not dumb.
Right.
No.
Like, she's smart, and that's kind of why she can live this life, and she's sort of, like, doing what she's doing because she's smart.
I really
Right, like,
that.
why didn't her husband think to look for her diary?
Because
he doesn't think
know her.
anything about her,
He
yeah.
has, like, no recognition
She
that
doesn't
has
register
any
with it,
interior
right.
life
Like,
whatsoever.
even that
He
first
doesn't know any of the
scene.
books in her
Right.
nightstand.
How to be your own best friend. I'm okay, you're okay? Dr. Ruth's Guide to Good Sex. He's Roberta's too?
You know, she read this stuff.
You know, Garrett, between you and me, what do you really know about Roberta?
Or like that scene after the party and she's sitting by the cake and when he leaves he turns the light off and she's sitting there. Like it's like she doesn't even register with it.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He's like, don't
see
eat all the
her.
cake.
He says don't eat all the cake.
And
Fuck
then
you.
turns off the light. Right.
And I think, don't they have in that discussion when it's like kind of the big reveal and she's like, look at me, right? That whole scene really struck me, how much he was just sort of ignoring everything she was saying. And she's basically like, I'm not coming back home with you and we're going to get a divorce. And he's just like not even hearing what she's saying. It's all of that, you know, that whole sort of dynamic continuing into that moment. There's something about it that just made me so mad at him in that moment.
Right.
I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you don't
fucking
deserve
sucks.
her. You're totally ignoring her. I'm glad
Right.
she's leaving.
Yeah. He's having an affair.
Yeah, like why does he even care? It's so weird that he is so determined to find her.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like his image, you know, and he doesn't want to get divorced. He just wants to have an affair.
He wants the image. I mean, it's what you do. I feel like that's sort of their whole life is about like you do these things. That's the acceptable societal thing. And
Right.
you have a wife, and she does wife things.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't pay
You know,
attention to her work
she
there.
brings the car in to get the radio fixed, you know.
Yeah,
She,
right.
she forgot to do, but, you know, she makes dinner.
I know, and she's trying to make a nice dinner.
There are your 6 eggs. And those get beaten up.
Hello, Roberta. Hello, Julia.
Sorry, girls, I can't stay for dinner. Some guy from West Germany's got 1,500 tubs on a boat. He can't get through customs. I gotta go have dinner with him in town. It just happened. I'm sorry. You forgive me? Oh, looks interesting, too. Get a good deal on the radio?
Radio?
Our radio. Didn't you just come from the city?
Oh my god, the radio.
You forgot the radio?
No. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, I guess I did. You know, Gary, you could have told me about not wanting dinner instead of making me rush.
Rush from where? According to you, you didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, that's what my note says. Gary, what a douche.
Yeah.
I was also really puzzled by the like pretzel gum drop and Reese's Pieces perma snacks.
Oh,
on the
yeah.
table.
Oh yeah, like I was thinking about that too. I'd never seen that before. It was like a recessed snacks in the
It looked
part
like
of the
you
coffee
would have an
table.
olive bar or something somewhere, but instead of being in a restaurant, it was like on your coffee table in the middle.
Was it left over from the party?
Well, I don't know, because it had like lids. So it really seemed like it was like something you leave out all the time, like a
That is weird.
bowl of mints or something, but it was like for your coffee table.
She definitely. They have like all of the gadgets. Like
They've got
she
stuff,
has like the
Sky Mall,
rotisserie.
yeah.
Like who has a rotisserie
Right, in
chicken
there.
thing? And it seemed like keeping up with the. She's the Joneses.
She's
of
got all the
Jones-
shit, yeah, but there's nothing fulfilling.
Right. Yeah.
And then she finds this guy living free who like gets all this stuff stolen. I like the contrast too of like how all his stuff is like not stolen, I guess, but like he was with this woman and she took everything and now he's got this empty apartment and she's like, it's great here. I love this.
Yeah.
I want to stay here.
Oh, I love that. She's like, you can do a lot. There's a lot of light.
You know, you could do a lot with this place. There's a lot of light.
It's also totally cute when they're lying on the mattresses, like on the opposite sides of the door wall. Oh my god. It's like a really sexy and cute scene.
They have such great chemistry.
They really do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't usually go in for like romantic comedies, but I'm a sucker for this story. I like
It's really
it.
good, yeah.
This is going back to something we talked about earlier, this idea that Roberta changes her vibe, right? And then that sort of leads to all this like goodness coming or changes. I have a note that just says mystique begets reality, because it was sort of like this mystique around Susan almost makes all of this stuff happen, right? Like she has this mystique that goes ahead of her, so people expect it to be a certain way. So Des is like attributing all of this stuff to Roberta when she's not anything like that. She hasn't ever, you know, but he's attributing it all to her because of like the mystique of Susan coming ahead of time. And that was really interesting because it almost feeds her being like that.
Yeah, he says a couple times, I know about you, or I've heard about you, or whatever.
Right?
That does kind of give her permission to just be a little bit more free. Like, I know about you means, she's like, oh, that means I can just go wherever I want and do what I feel. I don't have to go back with Gary. And I could get this job as the magician's assistant.
Right. I love that that's her new life. Like, she's the magician's assistant at the Magic Club.
How hilarious is it to be cut in two in that little box and have your husband and your boyfriend in the audience being like, that. You know, and then the guy grabs the earring and she can't do anything because she's just there in the little box.
Oh my
that
god,
scene
I know.
was so hilarious to me.
Yeah, I liked it. And Gary was like all mad about it, and then Des was like, this is awesome.
You're right.
I just really liked his reaction of like, what a great trick.
Yeah. I loved it when she first is working with him. She like seems excited about the birds. I also really love when the lady's like, "How do you use the birds?" when she gets arrested.
How do you use the birds?
That was really
she
funny.
carries those birds everywhere.
Yeah.
She's so committed to the birds.
She, you know, she wants to do a good job at her new job, you know.
That's how she earns those $20 a night.
Yeah.
Oh my god, those poor birds.
Yeah.
They got mugged.
Hey, they got arrested.
They had to,
Those birds have a record now.
Right. I also like that it was just a normal length movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't 5 hours long.
That is really nice.
Neat, tidy.
Yeah, like this is the kind of thing that Paul Feig would make today, and it would be 2.5 hours.
Or Judd Apatow. Oh my god, imagine if Judd Apatow made this one. It'd be too fitty. I do not like him.
No, and there'd be a director's cut.
Manic pixie dream girl, and it would be all
Right.
about the guys.
Yeah, or a guy would rescue them at the end or something.
Oh, I love that Roberta rescues Susan.
Yeah.
Like so much. I love that scene so much.
When she,
you know, and
she
she's
mouths,
there
"Help
and-
me."
And Jimmy's running and trying to find them, and he's not very successful, and then all of a sudden they're coming through. And I feel like in the beginning of the movie, Roberta wasn't a person who would have been like, oh, here's this thing, let me pick it up and hit him over the head with it. She would have been like, oh my god, what do I do? But she's like changed and evolved, and now she's the one that kind of saves the day.
Yeah.
Good going, stranger.
That moment was such a great
Yeah.
moment in the movie to me.
And then she's so happy too. She's like, I did it.
Yeah, and they're so happy to meet each other in real life finally. They're like, hey, there you are.
Right.
And you kind of almost really miss like the very, very end when they get some kind of award.
Right.
Yes, I love that.
What a pair.
What a pair.
That's
Oh,
so
because
funny.
of the earrings.
Yeah.
The earrings.
I know. I mean, I guess that's not a prop exactly, but it's just, did we need that?
I was like, I'm sure that the police would have been like, oh, the police in this movie are often...
There's definitely an ACAB vibe.
ACAB,
which is
yeah,
great.
for
Always
sure.
here for
Yes,
that.
I love.
very jerky.
Yeah, because she gets arrested basically for
Getting
being in a
mugged.
dress.
Yes.
Right. It's
Yeah.
like she's wearing a short dress.
I see your pimp. All right, play it that way. Come on, sweetheart. You've just got a little bump on your head. You'll survive it.
Yeah. Yes.
Like,
Getting
100%.
getting
killed me,
almost
and now I'm in
assaulted.
trouble getting
Right.
arrested. Yeah, that made me mad.
Yeah, they just wouldn't hear it. They're like, you were in an alley, so you must... And even then, it's like, if she's a prostitute, she deserved getting beaten up.
awful.
Lots of problems.
And definitely at the end, I was like, I don't think they would have gotten an award based on what we've seen about this police force thus far. The police would have been like, you guys stole, you're going to jail.
I guess the people who are looking for the artifacts were grateful enough that they made the police not press charges or whatever.
Well, and they had the real bad guy, right? So the bad guy got turned in, and
that's true.
They were the known bad guys.
Right. And Susan was the known woman of interest. Like, I don't think she was a suspect of killing him, but when there first is like the news story and they're looking for this woman.
Richard Nolan and Bruce Meeker, you may recall, were released pending appeal of their 1982 conviction for smuggling. Nolan and Meeker are the prime suspects in the disappearance last week of the Nefertiti earrings from the Cairo collection, currently on display here in New York.
Nefertiti?
Nolan is still at large.
Shit.
Like they know she's like a witness in some way.
Wanted for questioning.
Oh, it was cute that they each had one of the earrings.
Yeah.
Yes! That is kind of a pro earring point, because I love like the suitcase and the Port Authority thing and like finding the suitcase. And even though it's like so ridiculous that she has amnesia, it's also really fun when she's going through the suitcase. And it's also just such a cool suitcase.
Yeah.
That looks like it's hand painted.
So cool. Skeletons,
Yeah.
and then there's like pink satin on the inside, and then she finds like
I loved it.
silverware and
I know, that's so funny.
stuff.
So funny she grabbed all the silverware at the hotel like that.
Oh, and she's like, oh, there's cigarettes in here. I must smoke. And then she lights a cigarette and immediately coughs.
And he's like, maybe you should quit.
Yeah, maybe.
I love the details at her friend Crystal's apartment.
Like her
apartment is so great.
phone, that's
Her phone
all the
is
stuff glued all over
yeah,
it.
decorated
shells glued to
phone.
it, and it's just like a really like nice lady's apartment. It's, it's really cool. I like that actress. Her name is, well, anyway, she's the mom in The Crow.
Oh, nice.
And that's where I knew her from before this.
That relationship also is a really cool...
Oh, Anna Thompson is
like
Anna Thompson, thank you.
Yeah, just like a very cool way that female friendships are. Like, oh, I'm so happy to see you. Wait a minute, you need a favor? Oh, yeah. Oh, well, okay, here you go. You know, just that whole dynamic felt really real to me.
Yeah, it's like, I know you're gonna want to stay with me, but then when you see her staying there, it's like not a real problem. You know, she's not like a problematic guest.
And it's nice, like, when she loses her job and they just go to the movies together.
Yeah.
Man, some witch steals my clothes. Meeker gets pushed out a hotel window, and now you get fired.
No offense, but bad luck really seems to be following you around.
Look, we're both free now. Let's just go to the movies. Double feature? Come on.
I'll pay for the movie if you pay for the popcorn.
Okay, but listen, how much is popcorn?
$2.50.
Yeah, I thought that friendship was cute. I liked that.
Yeah.
And you just know Susan's not going to stay around for long anyway. So it's kind of
Right.
like, oh, Susan's staying with me, but it's not like she's going to be mooching off of me for the rest of my life or anything. She's going to be off to some other adventure soon.
Yeah, she might be a little bit of a grifter, but everyone's happy to see her.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
She brings like this fun chaos to everyone's life.
Yeah.
You know, she's kind of a chaos agent. So maybe she's not a grifter. She's a chaos agent, you know, and
Yeah.
but she's bringing that chaos into your life, and then for that like little moment, you're free and you're having this really fun time. And I'm sure all her friends are like, oh God, I got in so much trouble with her, but it was so fun. You know?
I've got a story.
No one's dreading seeing her again. They're all happy to see her.
Totally.
They know she's going to probably stir up some shit and they're going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
They're going to have a good time doing it.
And she steals from, like, the people she should steal from.
Yeah, and I like that. It was just a very casual. She's like, oh, here, what's in here? Oh, yeah, these are cool. Let me just put these in right now. You know? Bye.
Yeah, and also, like, what is that guy doing with those?
Stealing them from a museum.
Yeah,
Right.
obviously. I know, but, like, I could tell that, you know, she wasn't thinking, I'm stealing his precious heirlooms or something. She knew that he was up to no good, and she was just stealing from a thief anyway.
Yeah.
I like that she
Little
just kind of
Robin
has this little code, you know.
Yeah.
that
It's like her
she
own
never spells it
morality.
out, but you could just tell she's always operating under that.
Yeah, that was one thing, too, in her relationship with Jimmy. Jimmy?
Jim.
Calls
Jimmy.
him
She
I
calls
think
him
he's,
Jimmy.
yeah,
but
she calls him Jimmy.
But yeah, it was like, she's Polly.
Right.
You know, back before that was like a thing that you really saw in movies, or it was
Right.
typically a thing that is used to demonstrate someone is promiscuous. But like you were saying, I don't think the movie was trying to be like, she's this horrible promiscuous person. It's sort of like, she's promiscuous and it's fine. Part of setting who she is as a character, but not in a judgmental or negative connotation.
If anything, it's almost reverent of it. I mean, like, she's not the hero, but she's a hero. Like, it's the two heroes that come together. And it's...
The Heras.
Yeah.
Well, actually, probably Roberta, it does have a bit of a Hera archetype vibe. You know? Not Susan.
Yeah.
Susan's clothes were very cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they were awesome.
You can't ignore that. I also really like the dress that Roberta wears for her magic outfit, and like sort of purple, like lavender tulle. I swear I saw somebody wearing something just like that when I went to the Trixie and Katya show the other day. It's like they were wearing this sort of flouncy lavender thing that reminded me of that dress.
Yeah, I know, like the green sort of mermaidy dress that she put on. It was in the suitcase.
Yeah.
You want to go with me to get breakfast? Green sequin dress?
Yeah. Right.
What if you got some sort of disguise?
You don't like it?
No, it's sort of charming.
She didn't have anything else to put on. There weren't that many clothes in there.
True.
Really.
Yeah.
It does seem like Susan just kind of picks stuff up along the way. Like when she needs to change her clothes, she just puts on whatever's around.
Right. She's traveling pretty light.
I know. I'm like, that's probably the thing I'm most envious of. God, to just have like no material hang-ups in your life. That would be amazing.
Free spirit.
Yeah. A billion cameos.
Oh my God.
Billion.
So many cameos.
John Laurie playing the saxophone.
Yeah.
Like everybody is somebody.
Yeah.
And they don't even show him for that long.
They
like
barely
so,
show him.
Such a short amount of time that I had to look it up to make sure it was him.
Yeah. Well, like John Laurie and Richard Edson are both in it because they're
he
the
gets
stars
lines
of Stranger-
at least.
Yeah.
Hey, baby. Hey, baby.
That's a really funny reaction.
He's so funny.
Who is the guy that is the MC in the Magic?
John Turturro.
I'm from Brooklyn. Brooklyn. Do we have anyone else here in the house from Brooklyn? Oh, right here. All right, why don't you two guys share a cab home afterwards? This is a great audience. Okay, let's get on with it.
That was great. I like him.
Yeah, and little baby Giancarlo Esposito.
Yes.
So
Oh my
young.
God.
The street vendor.
Hey, baby. I got a pair of sunglasses for you, baby. I've been telling you something, and this hat. This is for you, baby. Look at that. This hat will look great on you, baby. All day long, I've been telling you something. Look, take a look in the mirror. Look how you look, baby. Beautiful, right?
And Ann Magnuson is just like so cool.
Susan? Hi. Oh my God, we all thought you were dead. Just in New Jersey.
Yeah, she's incredible. I didn't know who that was, but I was like immediately drawn to her.
Oh gosh, she's so cool.
Like that, she's the woman.
The cigarette girl.
Yeah, the cigarette girl, and she basically has one line, and then, except for later on when she's like selling the cigarettes and has her spiel.
Cigars, cigarettes, tofu.
But yeah, we all thought you were dead, and I was like, "Who is that?" And I looked it up, and wow, what a cool fucking
cool.
lady! Definitely give her a goog.
I am terrible at spotting cameos or knowing who anyone is in a movie. I have a friend that I watch movies with who will immediately we have to pause the movie so I can Google this person right now, learn everything about them, and then I'm always like, they look familiar, or maybe they don't even look familiar. I get so immersed in the movie world that it just doesn't even occur to me to think about who this is as an actual person. Even though I just earlier was talking about how cool it is in Murder, She Wrote that there's all these cameos all the time.
Yeah.
But those cameos are like people you can't not recognize.
Right, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
George Clooney, or something.
Yeah, it was probably more just that I was on alert about it because of the other known cameos that I was like, that has to be someone. But she didn't do all that much other acting. But the main thing I read about today was like that she started this kind of art club called Club 57 that she managed, and they basically would do these art performances that were one-offs. And I read an interview with her in 2017 where she's like, today they'd probably make it viral or some shit. But back then we just like did it and we didn't care if anyone saw it. And she's just like such an art life cool lady. And Klaus Nomi actually got his start at Club 57. And then she was in this band called Bongwater that I listened to, but today that was like an experimental band, kind of Flaming Lips vibe.
Oh.
I think I have a Bondwater album.
You do?
I think so.
Yeah, so she's just fucking cool as shit.
And as I said, there was this like sitcom with Jamie Lee Curtis that was very typical network sitcom, but I watched a couple seasons of it because she was on it, and she was so cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like a magazine or a newspaper, like how
Yeah.
so many sitcoms are. And then she was like the editor or something, and she was just super cool.
Oh my god,
She was
you
so
would think
cool.
everybody worked in a magazine.
I know, that was the only job, right?
The most common job for
Actually, one thing I always remember, I meant to mention it on Really Weird Stuff at some point, but the second season, I think, is when Ann Magnuson comes in and they also introduce this other character who's like there to write the regular guy column, right? Like, what is your shtick, basically? Like, tell us what this regular guy thing about. And the first thing he says is, I don't care who killed Laura Palmer.
Something regular
I
guys.
tried really hard to find that clip.
Oh my god.
I just Googled like cameos in this movie, and it does seem like a lot of the cameos are people who have these really deep ties to Lower East Side.
Yes, it's a super like just New York hipster movie. The cab driver too, because there's a bunch of people from like Jim Jarmusch movies. The cab driver's Rocket's Red Glare.
Yeah, I read about him today.
Yeah, he's in Stranger Than
He was
Paradise
Sid
as well.
Vicious's bodyguard at the time that Sid Vicious murdered Nancy Spungen.
Oh, wow.
Kind of dropped the ball a little bit, I feel like.
Well, you're just like, I'm not defending Nancy.
I guess not, Rockets.
Yeah, it says here that in his book Pretty Vacant, A History of Punk, journalist and author Phil Strong straight up accuses Red Glare of being the actual murderer of Nancy.
Wow.
Spungen.
Yeah, also
and, like,
Annie.
all the bandmates.
Yeah, I
are
was going to say
actual,
Annie
like,
Golden
musicians.
is someone. I saw her in something so recently and I looked her up.
She was in Orange is the New Black.
I didn't see that. It was either Easy or High Maintenance, something like that. She was just in one episode, but I was like, this woman's definitely somebody.
All of that goes right over my head. I don't. I'm like, I don't know. That's just the bad guy, and he's dead now.
But that's also so cool that it can be a straightforward comedy. Would you call it a rom-com? Yeah.
I would just call it a comedy.
I don't feel like the romance is central to the plot. Maybe. It does play a pretty significant role, I think, in Roberta deciding to leave her boring life behind. But yeah, it does seem kind of tangential.
Yeah.
Like, would the movie still be what it is if it didn't have that as a side plot? I think it would.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, if she was just like, do you want to be roommates with Des at the end or whatever? Like, I just want to leave
Right.
my
Or
life.
if Jim's friend was a girl and can you go make sure she's okay and she stays with them.
It does add like the nice complication of that Des kind of falls for Susan, you know, in quotes, and then has to kind of come clean to Jimmy, and then they're like mad at each other. And
Yeah,
that
I like
does
that.
add a nice little extra.
That is a really cute
mini
scene.
crisis.
Yeah.
Just what are you saying here, Des?
I'm not gonna bullshit you, Jim. It was a shitty thing to do. I'm not saying it wasn't. But you yourself said she was irresistible.
Why don't you just hit me again and like finish me off?
Look, huh? Cry about it. I'm really crazy about her, and she's really crazy about me. I'm sorry.
Well, listen, I know Susan. Whatever she told you doesn't mean shit. And she plays with people, Des. I ought to know. I've been chasing her for years.
Well, I don't think she's playing with me.
Bullshit.
Why don't we just ask her? Susan?
You mean she's here?
We gotta talk to her about this right now, and she's totally gone.
That is really funny. He's like, Susan!
That scamp.
Right, yeah.
But I do really love that they find out in the end that they didn't have the same Susan.
That doesn't drag out too long of like them thinking they are both into the same girl. It's pretty soon after, then they just go to the club and he's like, that's not Susan.
Yeah.
Just like a minor blip. It adds a little moment of drama, but without being overplayed.
Kind of like the way like a misunderstanding would happen in real life.
Right, yes.
Oh, I got this
That's
thing.
right.
Like, you cleared it right up.
Misunderstandings are cleared up much faster in real life than in movies. Did anyone see that movie, Three Identical Strangers?
Oh, yes!
That movie.
When she goes to place the personal ad and she's like in the boxers and the shirt and the three of them are standing there and look her up and down.
Oh my god.
Those are the triplets from Three.
I was really mad. I think Three Identical Strangers did not get nominated for a documentary Oscar the year that it was out, and I was so mad about it because it was so great. It was definitely one of my highlights of the year.
That's
really good.
shocking. Very surprised to hear that.
The documentary Oscars are like super weird. I feel like they're known as, if something is popular, they're just not interested. You know?
Yeah,
It's they're
there's
like
a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I'm too cool to like something so mainstream.
Or if it's not
or enjoyable.
about
like the
some sort of
Holocaust
horrible
or something.
You have to suffer for your art.
Because they didn't suffer
Right.
enough, exactly.
Yeah,
There was some
suffer.
tragedy.
Yeah, mostly watching the documentaries every year is totally suffering. You're just like, oh god.
Yeah.
Not watch this. Speaking of the personals, the guy who is the person who works there is just like so funny the way
He's really funny.
so drolly read back
Right.
everything. Okay, great, go pay at the cashier.
Yeah.
Completely unfazed by anything. anyone
Yeah,
says,
he doesn't even
you
engage
know?
with Susan. She's like, she's gonna love it. He's like, go pay at the cashier.
And apparently he's also a sort of surprise cameo. But just in general, I thought that character was kind of a fun
Yeah.
character. Arto Lindsay as newspaper clerk. He was a noise rock journeyman.
Wow.
Became one of the first Lower East Side darlings with no wave band DNA, but was simultaneously playing with dance pop ambitious lovers by the time he played in Desperately Seeking Susan.
You can tell it's like the people who made this movie were just so cool.
Yeah.
Let's make a movie
Yeah.
and put all my cool friends in like little bit parts.
That's so true. So what about the bad guy?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
should I know who he is?
He's in
The
a
blonde
lot of
bad guy?
movies. This is the only movie I've seen where he's like young in it.
Yeah, he like
But-
loses his hair pretty quickly, right? This is like the most hair he's ever had.
Yeah, he's like a character actor that's in Ron Howard movies and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what else he's in, but he's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And he usually has no hair.
I think he's not part like the cool hipster scene that so many of the people
Yeah,
are
he
from.
was
I think
just like
he's
an actor they
yeah, I
cast
think he's
for
just
this. And he definitely seems like he's in a slightly different movie. Like he's so intense. I don't know like why he's so intense, dude.
That's what Matt said. He's like, that guy is not good at his job. Like he just all he has to do is get the earrings back, and he is not doing a good job at
Yeah,
all. Right?
like he doesn't even really need to kill anybody,
Right.
but he's like just
Right.
trying to murder left and right.
Right.
For no reason. I guess yeah. Like did he have to murder Bruce too? I don't know.
Well, that might have been a personal thing. I don't know. Like I don't know what was going on there.
I guess that whole thing is just kind of a MacGuffin in general. Though.
Yeah, totally.
Bruce was supposed to deliver the earrings to him, and then when he didn't, he killed him.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Like, you effed up.
And he didn't because he banged Susan and they got really tired.
Well, or it might be like
really tired.
he might have taken off. Maybe it was like they did the robbery together and they got a bunch of stuff, and he just took the earrings and ran or something. Maybe it is that.
Could be.
Why does he have just the earrings? Because I thought they were.
Right. Also, stealing ancient Egyptian artifacts, like, it just seems like that'd be such a hard thing to
Right.
get cash money for.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
They have some black market connection for
Yeah.
these artifacts.
I guess they must. I feel like there's easier ways to.
That guy does not do things the easy way. I really don't think that's his way.
Good point.
Next call.
You guys want to hear some alternate castings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis was up for the role of Dez and Melanie Griffith for Susan.
Oh God.
Wow. And then
Oh, God, no.
Bruce
then
Willis, I feel like could have been good as Des, honestly.
I mean, I love Bruce Willis.
he's
so
got a lot of
I
charisma.
would-
Yeah.
When he was that young, he was
They
pretty
both
charming.
would have been young at that time.
Yeah, I could see it. He kind of had that everyman vibe. I could see his vibe working in that role.
Melanie Griffith. I haven't seen this, but I want to watch Something Wild. It's
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of like she's like the
Yeah.
cool
That's
taking
it.
Matthew Modine,
Yeah.
kidnapping him, like.
In fact, I have heard that in reference to Manic Pixie Dream Girls, like
Yeah.
early Manic Pixie Dream Girl
For
was
sure,
Something
yeah.
Wild. And then I guess initially the filmmakers wanted Goldie Hawn as Susan and Diane
Oh.
Keaton as Roberta.
Oh God.
But then they decided to go younger.
Yeah, I could see Goldie Hawn as Roberta more than Susan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when Goldie Hawn first started out, she was very much like a bohemian
Yeah,
beauty.
I love Goldie Hawn. I
She
think
also
she's
always
great.
kind of plays like a ditzy.
Mhm.
I mean, think of her as Private Benjamin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like kind of a little ditzy character.
And then people who were on the short list at the end were Jennifer Jason Leigh and Helen Barkin.
Oh,
and
God.
Madonna edged them out.
Yeah, I don't think either of them would have been good at all.
No, and it's so interesting to think that this is Madonna's first acting role, and maybe she was sort of new on the scene I mean, of course, we all know now that Madonna is probably the greatest pop star ever in the history of pop stars. And who wouldn't want Madonna in their movie? They would be clamoring to get her and will do anything. So it's interesting to think that there was ever a point in time where someone was considering somebody else for this movie.
Yeah, it's
right.
Like she was made for her. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It feels like the role was written for her.
Yeah.
You know, you almost would have thought that they had her in mind from the beginning.
Right. Yeah.
Well, actually, I listened to a little bit. My DVD had a commentary track, and I listened to a little bit of it. I forget why I said. I mean, it was interesting. I had watched this movie like 3 times, and she said like once they cast Madonna, like that sort of set the vibe of the movie. You know, like that like helped them get that direction. You know. The other thing, I only watched a little bit of it, but she said that the opening in the hair salon was like, it was really supposed to just be like in a store or something, but Susan Seidelman wanted it to be in a hair salon because the movie to her was about like identity and transformation. So that's like what's happening in a salon.
Sort of like a superficial transformation as opposed to like the super deep transformation that happened. You know?
Right.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, I totally want to watch this like commentary now.
Yeah, I definitely will watch. Like it was.
Stream it.
Yeah.
Get access to that.
That's why I still buy DVDs.
Yeah, I know. Right? I still have a lot of DVDs too. I used to like pawn exchange. I was, dating somebody, and they would sometimes want to go into the pawn shop, and I just go and look at the movies, and you can get like 5 movies for $10 or something.
Yeah. They're so cheap.
Yeah. It's cheaper than renting them from the video stores. It's like, I don't like it. Who cares? But yeah.
Amazon the app also has like a lot of really cheap movies.
Yeah, I've built a good little collection that I am happy with. And then some things that I'm really happy I have on DVD because they're not always available. Things can like cycle in and out of streaming availability.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just really want to watch Weekend at Bernie's and it's not available on streaming.
Yeah. It's like so stupid.
I love that movie and I will defend it.
I'm not coming for Weekend at Bernie's.
One of, in my opinion, like the funniest movie ever made. It just tells you how my humor works.
I've probably seen Weekend at Bernie's 2 more just because it was always on Comedy Central. But...
Do you have movies like that? I was a not baby in the 80s. So HBO used to like have movies on 2 or 3 times a day, and so they were just on all the time.
Yeah.
Or one of the other channels would have it. So I have seen Eddie and the Cruisers probably 100 times.
I have that with just one of the guys was on all the time.
I saw that so many times.
Yeah,
also,
that was always
Aiden
on.
Quinn is in Eddie and the Cruisers.
Oh, really?
Isn't he like one of the guys in the band? Like I think Michael Paré is the.
Yeah, I know Michael Paré is
like
the star.
Eddie. And I feel like Aiden Quinn might be his bandmate. But that was my first exposure to Aiden Quinn. Just whatever that movie was. What was the one that you've seen 100 times?
Clash of the Titans. Yeah, that was the movie that I like recorded. So that I could watch even more times than it was on TV.
OG
Wait,
Clash
is
of the
that
Titans.
is that a
many.
Greek?
Yeah.
I've
It's
seen
Perseus.
it with Harry Hamlin, right?
Yeah, that one.
Oh my god, I remember watching that.
I have such a vivid memory. I saw that in the movie theater with my brother, and we got stuck in the fire exit instead of the main room. You went out one door, and then there was a flight of stairs, and then you go to and like we couldn't get the door open. That's like all I remember about that movie is that we. I know, right?
A big part of the movie.
That's all. Literally the only thing I remember being so scared that we were just like trapped in there. But it was just like we were kids. I mean, he was only a year older than me, so we were whatever year that movie was like.
What
year was 2 or 3 or something.
Okay, so we were like 10. Yeah.
And you went to the movies by yourself?
Oh yeah, all the time. But I just remember them finally. He like pushed really, really hard on the door, and so it wasn't locked. It was just like a really heavy door. At least for a 10-year-old. Yeah. Right.
And it didn't have that thing saying alarm will sound.
No, it definitely didn't have that. Yeah. No.
I learned that Susan Seidelman directed this movie She Devil, which is a movie that my sister and I loved watching that.
Oh my god. I remember liking that when it came out.
What else did she?
We had it on
And now I'm like, I want to watch Making Mr. Right, because that's a movie she made, and it stars Ann Magnuson.
Oh my god.
And the plot kind of sounds like it's like a gender-swapped Weird Science or something.
I like that.
I kind of remember the cover, like, it's like a mannequin or something. I feel like I've seen that in a Blockbuster or something.
So wait, that is a TV show and a movie?
Making Mr. Right. They might have done a show. I mean, it was a movie.
Wait, who's the guy in it?
John Malkovich.
Oh
well,
my
wait, he's
God.
not Mr. Right. Okay, so here's the plot. Workaholic scientist John Malkovich invents a human-like android named Ulysses, a near-perfect replica of himself with the ability to learn how to mimic and reciprocate human emotion.
Okay, yeah. We might have
Yeah,
to do
we're gonna have to
Maybe
look
we'll
on
have to do
eBay for that
another
DVD.
Susan Seidelman double feature.
I think so. All right, yeah, we might have to do a Susan Seidelman deep dive. My God.
Yeah, there's a lot. That looks like a fun way to spend a rainy afternoon.
So this is what's called a lunchtime poll.
All right, we're going to do for the lunchtime poll a good old-fashioned game of Fuck, Marry, Kill.
All right.
Simple rules. You just name three
Pick three
characters in the
people.
movie and say whether you want to fuck them, marry them, or kill them.
All right.
Who wants to start?
I will start. I would fuck Des, Aidan Quinn, the hot cat guy. I mean, I don't think I need to explain
No
why.
further explanation necessary.
For Mary, I have to marry Richard Edson because I love him so much. Even more than Dan Hedaya, he is my favorite character actor of all time. Yeah, so
He's got a real great nose.
he's just the
Good
guy,
nose on it.
real good nose. He's just the guy who's buying a newspaper and then she takes the whole stack. That guy. He's in it for like 5 seconds, but I love him. I love him so much, so I would have to marry him. And I would have to kill the cop who, there's a few cops, but the one that I would definitely kill is the one like in the police station who's like, when we saw that the photos matched and we realized she wasn't a prostitute, but then someone else bailed her out, so probably her pimp boyfriend was like,
I know, he's just really
this
like
guy
doubling
sucks
down
ass,
on
right.
See, every
Right.
woman is a prostitute to him. He sucks.
She did not do anything. Why did she get arrested? And then, like, why was she being held until he realized she was married to some guy in Jersey? But then when someone else bailed her out, then it's back to, like, she's a prostitute. I hate that guy.
Yeah, that guy fucking sucks.
Stupid patriarchy. I feel
Right.
like that was very like, we don't listen to anything you say, but oh, your husband is vouching, so now
Right.
it's okay. I'm
Right.
like,
Yeah, that guy sucks. Denise, what do you go next?
oh God, this is so hard. I had a really hard time with Aidan Quinn because I just really want to like fuck him and marry him.
Ah,
yeah.
well, there's no rules.
I mean, you should fuck the person you're married to, I
You
think.
should,
You know,
a lot.
Yeah.
Really.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
otherwise, what's the point?
I a little bit have never totally understood this game, to be honest. But-
I think fuck is just like you wouldn't
Like
want to
you'd have
do.
a fling.
You'd have a
Right.
fling. Yeah.
Right.
It's like
I know, I take things too literally
it's like
sometimes.
it's more like fuck and marry and then kill.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe even fucking kill. I don't
Fuck
know.
fuck more than once, right.
Mostly I struggle with this because I'm straight, but Madonna is just so fuckable in
Yeah,
this movie,
she's so
right?
hot.
It's also like literally the entire persona of like who she is in the movie, right? Is like the
Yeah.
one that everybody wants her. So it's kind of like, I guess, I don't know, like if I were there in the moment, I'd probably have to go for that.
Yeah.
So I think I would have to say fuck Madonna, marry Aidan Quinn, and kill... There were a few people.
So many options.
Yeah, like Gary really bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if we're supposed to limit ourselves to like the main characters.
Right.
Because I also would totally fuck the MC in the magic show.
Oh, John Turturro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
Oh, interesting.
He's kind of my type.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So do you kill Gary? Is that your kill?
Yeah, he really irritated me.
Yeah.
Like I said, my note about him is Gary, what a douche.
Oh, no, yeah. I would be
Totally
surprised
fair.
if Gary survives this game.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't kill him, but I knew somebody would.
Yeah.
I love Des so much that I kind of was like, yeah, fuck and marry Des. He's so hot. I just really liked him.
He's a really good blank canvas.
Yeah.
Guy.
Supportive.
If
He's really nice, yeah.
Non-judgmental.
Right.
yeah, he seems nice. He wasn't gonna leave her in the Port Authority. Like
I like
had
that
a
he-
conscience.
I
like,
really like that he wanted to order blueberry blintzes when he's like, "You're paying." Okay.
Yeah. That's
That was a
splurge
very
order.
endearing. Yes.
But if I have to choose, like, if they all have to be different, then I'd probably go with Stephen Wright for the fucking
Okay,
Stephen
sorry.
Wright. I don't know why.
I mean, no judgment.
I'm glad you clarified because you were like, I'd have to go with Stephen Wright. I'm like, for what now?
For which
I don't know why. I really love that guy.
He's
I don't know why.
great. I wanted to shout out his, like, every line reading of his is terrific. He, like, finds the maximum funny in every
I don't
line.
know. There's just something about him. I don't know.
He's really hilarious, and his voice is delightful.
She has great teeth.
But I would kill Gary because he'd probably have some tragic hot tub accident or something.
Yeah, he's making it look like an accident.
It happens all the time.
Oh, I would kill that, like, Italian security guard that's like, I'm gonna help you by, like, assaulting you. I did not like that guy.
Yeah, it was gross.
He upset me. She's coming to you for help, dude. Come on.
Right.
That'd be gross.
He was so gross.
It was very like, this is what it's like to be a woman in the world.
Yes. Right.
Those dudes that are very like, well, I'm not a bad guy. It's like, well, how are we supposed to tell?
Right.
You go and we're like, help me, security guard, and he's all like, wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, stay right here in this scary building, right?
Yeah, that was gross.
Well, I went with fuck the cigarette girl because she won't want to be tied down. So I could just tell she's also a free spirit. God, she's so sexy.
Yeah.
Mary Diz, because I feel like that's a great vibe. I mean, hot cat guy, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did marry a hot cat guy.
And he,
so.
like, he could have just left her at Port Authority, you know,
Yeah.
like, I know, and he turns around, he couldn't do it. Yeah.
He's so sweet. Yeah, he's a good dude. And also, totally the whole, like, projectionist thing.
Oh, right,
That's how I knew I hadn't seen this movie when I was young, because that would have had a huge impression on me, I'm sure. I would remember, like, the blue-eyed, dark-haired Irish guy who was a projectionist in this movie.
Think of all the free movies you could see.
Right.
You're like, I could see free movies all the time.
Mm-hmm. Like, very much my type back then, and now even. Killed a lot of good options, but I went with the scary bad guy with the bleach hair.
Oh, sure, yeah.
What's his name? Like, he's just fucking up everything.
I don't think he has a name in the movie. Well, we'll pat.
Well,
Now.
that's
Let's
the
see who
actor,
we'll pat. I'm going to see.
Villain number 1.
Because he's just making everything so hard for everybody.
Apparently his character is named Wayne Nolan.
Really? That does not come across at all.
Okay.
Maybe they say it in a news broadcast.
I think there was
something.
a news broadcast where they do say that, and they name the other guy too. I think the dead guy.
Bruce. I remember him because you could bye Bruce. I like that Susan says bye Bruce, and then later on Roberta says goodbye Gary.
Yeah.
Like that there's an alliterative bookend
Yeah.
situation. That's just a little subtle detail I enjoyed very much.
Yeah.
It's so different, like, watching a movie critically than just, like, watching a movie for fun.
Yeah.
You know? And, like, this is a movie you watch for fun.
Yeah.
And even if you're trying to watch it critically, you kind of get carried away in how fun it is.
Yeah.
That's great,
It's
though,
so
that it's,
fun.
like, it's not just fun, though. Like, it's a fun movie with a really positive social message.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, like, kind of inherently punk and ACAB and...
Yeah.
banging
And sex
soundtrack.
positive,
Sex
you
posi-
know.
Yes, very
Yeah.
sex
Yeah.
positive.
Yeah.
Especially in the 80s at that time. That was, like, not a great time for,
For sex positivity,
in
no.
general. And I like that it wasn't like some sort of an unrealistic utopia. It was like there were still lots of judgy people everywhere, but there were still people, like, living their sex positive lives.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, when the
Despite
bad
that.
guy interrupts Jim and Susan on the pinball machine.
Yeah.
And Jim's pants around his ankles, and the bad guy's like, nice legs. That was funny.
How very.
Any final thoughts about Desperately Seeking Sex?
It's great, and everyone should see it.
Yes, I'm so glad we watched it.
I have a lot of movies that I love, and I do this thing that I think a lot of people do where you want to revisit things that are familiar and comfortable, and they make you feel a certain way, and you're just like, I want to, like, enjoy that movie for the 9,000th time, you know?
Yeah.
But this was one that I remembered really liking, but I really haven't seen it in a really long time, so it was cool to watch it with totally different adult eyes,
Yeah.
you know, and sometimes when you do that with a movie, you see all these things that, you know, don't work or are problematic, and that really wasn't like that with this. It really holds up, and it's still entertaining and fun, and aside from that whole, everyone now would have a cell phone and she would be an influencer. Like, once you just kind of, like, get rid of that, put your suspension of disbelief on, you're just kind of carried away with it.
Yeah,
And
as
it's just
far
really
as
fun.
a period film, it holds up really well.
Yeah.
It's like an accurate portrayal of that time period from a woke perspective.
Yeah, and I wonder, like, what it would be like for someone who wasn't alive in that pre-cell phone, pre-social media era. I can remember what that was like. So when I watch this movie, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a reality I have experienced. So I can, but imagine if you never lived that reality.
Right.
Would you have a really hard time accepting this?
Like, I need you to watch it with Logan probably.
I know. I tried to before it's definitely on our list to watch, but I think you would just have to explain, like, personal ads, you know. Right. I mean, I feel like young people know that we didn't used to have phones, that, like, you know, or like that what a phone used to be was a thing that was in your house and it only worked in your house. And it was only to speak on, you know.
Right.
You had to hang it up.
You could just call from house to house.
Right. Well, that's like a thing young people learn, like, why do we say hang up when we end a phone call? You know, it's like...
Because it was on the wall.
Right. Like, it's funny that we still say that.
And hopefully the cord was long enough that you can, like, go around the corner and try to get a little...
In the closet.
You'd run to get the phone before someone else in your family answered it.
Yes, we used to race to the phone.
If you didn't get there, you just didn't know who it was.
Right.
Ever. Until maybe you saw them at school the next day. Like, I tried to call you last night.
If you missed it, you missed it, yeah.
Live in the moment, people. Like, this message, along with the desperately seeking Susan message. Be in the moment.
If you enjoyed this episode of Paid in Puke, please take a minute to give us 5 stars on your preferred podcast app, such as Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Amazon. If you did not enjoy this podcast, no further action is necessary. Follow us on Blue Sky at Paid in Puke Pod, on Instagram at Paid in Puke Seattle, and on YouTube at Paid in Puke Podcast. Paid in Puke is hosted by Amy Green, Jessica Baxter, and Christina Barr. Music by Silent Partner and Jessica Baxter. Produced and edited by Divine Betty Media. Thank you for listening. You're beautiful.
Lick it up, baby. Lick it